Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Apologies, I said I was going to start earlier today, and that was the goal. And I'm having trouble getting through the games earlier, so I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to set the alarm clock for earlier, but the good news is we still got 2 hours until game time, except for the one hockey game that's underway that's being played in Sweden. I think that game's probably over. We can take a peek at that. So today we're going to talk about NBA, hockey, and there's one college football game that's worth a look today. Of course, tonight after the live stream, I'll be working on Saturday's college football games. I'm sure everybody wants the Alabama LSU decode, so I will do that, and I will get those notes posted tonight. Remember, look for the things that are bolded and also the things that are underlined. If I bold it, it means I like it a little bit more than if it's underlined, but those are all things that I would like or think are worth considering. So before we get to today's games, let's talk about yesterday. We can start with the NBA. We had the TNT doubleheader, and I was leaning towards the Celtics winning this game so that they could improve to 3-1 away with a chance to get to 4-1 away in San Antonio. But the threat in this game was the Hornets coach. He had a chance at his 54th career win on the day leaving 54 days left in the year, and where TNT's 54. And sometimes the TNT riddles play. And I would say the 54 riddle might have played last night in TNT in light of both the teams that had a chance to do the 5-4 thing didn't. Seems to kind of be that way with TNT. It's like either both teams go for the 54 or they don't. And like we said, if the Celtics won last night, that should be the sign that the Clippers would win to avoid the 54 riddle in that game. So that is what happened. And Celtics rolled over the Hornets 108-87. So next game's going to be a tough call with San Antonio. Again, if Celtics do win that game away, they'll be 4-1 away. San Antonio's 41, and they'll be 7-1. Celtics is 71. That looks good. But the one thing that's tricky in that game is San Antonio Spurs is 62. So we'll see. I'll keep looking at it to see if I can get the winning clue. But that game's not today anyway. I thought yesterday the Spurs and Thunder was the safest game in the NBA. San Antonio getting to 4-1 at home. San Antonio equals 41. They took care of business. The Heat and Suns game was a little bit dangerous because whoever lost was going to be 5-3, and both teams play cities next that have 53 names. The Suns play the Brooklyn Nets next. Brooklyn Nets is 53. The Heat played Los Angeles next. Los Angeles is 53. I was given the edge to the Suns here because had the Suns won, they would have been 4-1 at home, and Brooklyn's 41. But like we said, Nets is also 23, the reflection to 3-2. So, I mean, this game was dangerous. I had the lean on the Suns. That was wrong. And then Trailblazers, Clippers. I said, watch this first game. If the Celtics win, Clippers probably take game 2. Yesterday had 21 date numerology, the 6th triangular number. So Clippers got the 6th win on TNT, and the Celtics got the 6th win yesterday as well. They were the only teams. Well, in this game, either team had a shot at 6 wins, but they were the only 2 games where just one team had a shot at 6 wins. And had the Clippers lost, of course, they would have been 5-4. But since that didn't happen in the first game, it didn't happen in this one either. So, not a bad day in the NBA. Could have been slightly better if the Suns came through. The Suns, something I should have thought about yesterday with the Suns falling to 5-3 is Suns equals 35, the reflection. That number plays hard with the Suns, 35. So I didn't think of that yesterday. I should have. All right, so that was basketball yesterday. And NHL yesterday, it was okay. My favorite game, Philadelphia, came through. I know that. So, Maple Leafs. Let me get up yesterday's notes. Maple Leafs got the 21st points yesterday on the 21 date numerology, just like how they picked up the 19th points on the 19 date numerology. Toronto was 117. Yesterday was 11/7. It looked like they had a better narrative. The threat in that game was Toronto losing and being 8-6 because Las Vegas is 86, playing the team from Las Vegas. But it usually is the points riddles. The Maple Leafs got the 21st points and they won 2-1. Something I screwed up with in the Capitals-Panthers game yesterday, we didn't make a call on this, but I should have been able to make a call on this based on a pattern that I've talked about all season, and I noticed what it was as soon as I saw the score, and I was like, man, I forgot that. Capitals equals 54. Yesterday left 54 days left in the year. When we've seen teams playing on the day left in the year count where it corresponds with their name, those teams are winning at a really high percentage. And as soon as I saw that score 5-4, I was like, man, Capitals equals 54. Yesterday left 54 days left in the year. So should have caught that. We talked about the Capitals possibly getting the 27th points in the 27th state, which was Florida. That's what they did. I was hoping they weren't going to win, though, because their next opponent's Vegas, and Vegas equals 27. The Penguins and Islanders disappointed me. I thought the Islanders would win that 11th straight game, being from New York, the 11th state. Instead, they lost. And what was the one other thought I had about that game? Oh, yeah, if Pittsburgh would have lost in overtime, they would have had 18 points. Islanders is 61, the 18th prime. But I was really banking on those 11 straight wins. And also, had the Islanders won, it would have set them up perfectly for their next game. So that's disappointing. The Flyers, to me, had the strongest riddle yesterday. They became 8-5. Flyers 85. We've already seen plenty of teams do it. Plus, they kept... Well, I guess the Canadiens did get 1 point. And the Canadiens stayed on 8-5 by losing in overtime. But the Flyers got their 18th point yesterday. Philadelphia equals 61, the 18th prime. So I was digging the Flyers riddle. They took care of business. The Rangers, I said I might use them as a parlay multiplier because they had a chance to get to 7-6 and 7-7 with combined losses. They were a huge underdog yesterday. I didn't think there was a great chance they would win, but they were a great payout if they did. Again, New York Rangers 76 and 77, so the riddle was there through their record. The Hurricanes, though, they could have picked up their 21st points on the 21 date numerology. Carolina's also 73, the 21st prime, so I was imagining that was what was going to happen, but hopefully you did put the Rangers together as a parlay multiplier and your parlay did hit. The Kings and Senators, like I said, the Kings had a points riddle, but the Kings have already squandered a few good riddles, so I wanted to see what would happen here. We talked about how if the Senators won the game, they would have 5 wins and 10 combined losses, just like how the Kings came in with 5 wins and 10 combined losses. Senators is 105, like 5-10 in reverse. So Senators won there. Canucks and Blackhawks. Remember, Vancouver Canucks is 193. This was the 193rd game. And by the Canucks losing, they stayed on 193 points in the series. The Predators and Avalanche. This game was a disappointment as well. I was thinking the Predators were going to take this one. Got to go back to what it was that I liked about the Predators. I know it was something with the record. Had Colorado lost, they would have been 4-4 at home, and Predators is 44, and had they lost in regulation, they would have been 4-3-1. Colorado's 43. So I was looking at that home record. Plus, I was thinking if the Predators won the next 2, they'd be 11-6 for the season. Predators is 116. So by the Predators losing, the good news is they stayed on 20 points, and their next opponent's the Sharks, which equals 22. So I imagine they'll get those 22nd points in the next game, which I believe is tomorrow. So Predators will have a nice points riddle in the next game because they lost this one. That was the one threat for the Predators. And man, a lot of goals scored. 9-4. Denver equals 94. That's a crazy score. The Flames and Devils, there wasn't a lot to go off on that game, but we were talking about how the Devils might very well lose 3 straight to fall to 2-6 away because Devils is 26. And we talked about how if the Flames won, they'd be 6-1 at home. 61's the 18th prime. The date was 11-7, 11 plus 7, 18. So not a lot to go off of, but the lean was Flames. Flames got it done there. And let's see. The Blue Jackets and Coyotes. I leaned the wrong way on this game, too. I was thinking Arizona would have that 5-2 record when they hosted Minnesota. The concern was, though, that if the Coyotes lost in overtime, they'd be on 21 points on the 21 date numerology with a team coming into town with 21 gematria. So there was a chance they could lose, but I was leaning more on them hosting Minnesota with a 5-2 record. So leaned the wrong way on that one. Hold on, I got to get the phone. It's ringing in the background. Caller?
What's up, Zach? How's it going, brother?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. Not bad. So, what you call it? Yeah, when I looked at that Ranger thing, I said, wow, this is too much of a coincidence for it to line up. You know what I mean? That 7-6, 7-7.
Yeah. You had a good call on that yesterday.
And then when I called back again, I said, Colorado, I like it for overtime victory. They won the game, but I didn't think they'd kill them like that. I thought it was like an overtime based upon Renee's record of 8-0-2 going into the game, and I thought they'd go 8-0-3.
Okay, yeah.
For that 83. And, oh man, there was one more reason why I called besides that. Oh, I don't remember. Darn. Okay, don't remember.
All right. No problem, man. Thanks.
Okay.
Keep up the good work. See you. Okay. And then the Wild and Sharks. The Sharks looked good to get it done yesterday because of their home record. Minnesota Wild's 193, the 44th prime. San Jose had a chance to improve to 4-4 at home, which they did. They almost gave up a big lead. They were up 4-0. And a lot of goals scored yesterday. And then the other thing was they host the Predators next, and Predators is 44, so it made sense. They had a opponent with a 44 connection, plus the next team coming in was 44, so Sharks got it done there. So the best riddle, if you just stuck with the best riddle in basketball and hockey yesterday, you went 2-0. If you messed with some of these other games, I'm sure you came out ahead, but there was definitely some room for improvement in hockey yesterday. So... And then in NFL football, the thing that I missed with, well, we didn't make a pick on yesterday's football game because it was close, but the thing that I should have realized is it was the last primetime game ever in Oakland, and I thought Oakland would get some bones this year, and I didn't realize it was the last primetime game there ever. That would have been crucial because notice primetime in the most pure cipher is 54. In fact, in both reduction ciphers, it's 54. And yesterday left 54 days left in the year, and the Raiders got to 5-4 in their last primetime game ever. So they made a big deal about that after the game. And you had to love Oakland's last drive. I didn't watch much of the game, but I caught the end. And I mean, that's just where I go, yeah, the players have to be in on it. I mean, they weren't even trying to tackle. I mean, it was just stupid, but... And then Derek Carr, man, I'm telling you, these guys are Hollywood actors. Derek Carr, all emotional at the end of the game. I don't buy it. Anyway, Oakland got it done. So, all right. So that was the games yesterday. Top two riddles were good. A lot of the closer calls. We came out on the majority of games, but there were some we missed on. So... that was yesterday. Let's talk about today. We'll do NBA, hockey, and then we'll look at this one college football game in the Pac-12. So Grizzlies at Magic. Orlando Magic equals 58. Today has 58 date numerology. Wonder if somebody might have 58 points at the half, maybe even the Magic themselves. This is the 46th game between these teams. And... the Grizzlies lead 23-22. Today's date numerology is 58, 31, 22. 31 is the 11th prime. There's 11 games in the NBA today, which is interesting. Today leaves 53 days left in the year as well, the 16th prime. So, if the Magic won today, they'd get their 16th win, and I swear I wrote this down. All right, so if the Magic win today, they get their 16th home win. Let me make sure that's updated in the notes. And it's a fitting day to get that 16th home win. If they win, they'd tie up the series at 23. Magic equals 30. If the Grizzlies lose, they're 0-3 away, which is like 30 in reverse. Grizzlies also equals 131, the 32nd prime. If the Magic win, they're 3-2 at home. And Mavericks equals 101, the 26th prime. That's who the Grizzlies play next. So if the Grizzlies lose this game, they're 2-6, like 26, to face the Mavericks 101, the 26th prime. So Also, the Magic coach. He can get his 241st career win today. That's the 53rd prime. And today leaves 53 days left in the year, so great day to get the 241st career win. I always like when a prime number relationship with a team's record or the coach lines up. They come through more often than not. So I think that's a good sign for the Magic coach. The devil's advocate narrative for the coach is his next loss with Orlando is 47. Memphis equals 38 in the most pure cipher, but it does have an S, so it's also 47. But they play Indiana next, and Indiana's 47 as well, so maybe they lose to the Pacers. But I like the Magic here. The home and away records make sense if the Magic win. The Grizzlies record makes sense with a loss based on the next opponent. And again, the Magic coach has a decent riddle to get that W, so I favor the Magic there. The Cavs and Wizards, this game looks a little bit hairy to me. The Wizards play the Celtics next. Celtics equals 26 in the most pure cipher, but it has an S, so it's also 35. They can face the Celtics 2-6 or 3-5. If Cavs upset in this game, they'd be 1-3 away, and the Wizards would be 1-3 at home. Washington equals 130, 1-3-0. If the Cavs did upset and became 1-3, they play at the Knicks next. Knicks is 41, the 13th prime. So it's possible the Cavs could upset, but again, it's a tough call. So I'm not going to mess with that game. It's weird how the Pistons and Pacers are playing each other so much at the beginning of this season. It's like, what's going on with this? This is going to be their third game against each other already. And so far, the Pistons have won both. So the Pacers are 0-2 versus the Pistons this year. In light of today being November 8th, 118, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, where they play, is 118. I could see that being a score today for one of the teams, 118 points. And I have a feeling, even though the Pacers have dropped the first two, they're going to get this one. Like we talked about, the Pacers winning their last game to be 4-4 and 3-1 at home because Detroit's 44 and Pistons is 31. Remember, Pistons is also 41. So if the Pacers win, they're 4-1 at home. And if the Pacers and Pistons, I want to make sure I'm not misspeaking. If the Pacers win, they're 4-1 at home and Pistons equals 41. If the Pistons lose, they're 1-4 away, and they play away at the Miami Heat next. Miami Heat's 43, the 14th prime. So could be fitting for them to go in with a 1-4 record. And also the Pacers coach, he's on 112 losses right now. He can stay on 112 because Pistons is 112. And the Pistons coach can pick up his 47th loss. Indiana's 47. And I don't have amnesia. I know that earlier this week, the Charlotte coach had a chance to get his 47th loss against Indiana, and he didn't. So it doesn't mean necessarily that the Pistons coach is going to pick up his 47th loss. But again, you have other things lining up here, like the Pacers becoming 4-1 at home versus the Pistons, and the Pistons going 1-4 into the Heat game. So, plus it kind of makes sense on both sides with the coach in this game if the Pacers win a game. And if the Pacers did become 1-2 against Detroit for the season, 1-2 is like 12. Detroit's 37, the 12th prime. Pacers is 37, the 12th prime. So I'll underline that too. Yeah, so I'm going to take the Pacers to get over the hump with the Pistons. And to me, it's interesting that they're a 7.5 point favorite today. That doesn't seem right to me. I mean, they've already lost 2 games, one at home, but so I don't know why they're so favored. But I do think they have the better riddle here. All right, the Kings and the Hawks game. Now, the Hawks just squandered a good riddle in the last game. Atlanta Hawks equals 193, the 44th prime number. And if the Hawks won, they'd be 4-4. Remember, Georgia's 44. So is Portland, and they host Portland next. So if the Hawks win, they're 3-3 at home and 4-4 for the season. Portland, 44, is also from the 33rd state, Oregon. Plus Atlanta's on the 33rd parallel. So the more fitting record to me here is the Hawks getting to 4-4. The concern is, this is the risk in this game. Kings equals 24 in the most pure cipher, but it does have an S, so it's also 33. If the Hawks lost, they'd be 2-4 at home. Because Kings is 24 in the more pure cipher, but Kings is 33 as well. And the Sacramento coach, his next win is 101. That's the 26th prime number. Hawks equals 17, but it has an S, so it's also 26. So it could be a fitting opponent to get his 101st win. That said, if the Kings lose, they're 1-4 away, and their next away game is in LA, and LA's 14 as well. So, could make sense for them to go in 1-4. For the Hawks coach, it's his 90th game. When you write out 90 as a word, it equals 33. His next win is number 33. His next loss is number 58. So he's 32-57 right now. If he lost, he'd get that 58th loss on the 58 date numerology, but if he got that 33rd win, it would make sense in the 90th game. Plus, again, Kings does have the 33 connection. So if you don't want to mess with that game, I understand. I'm leaning Hawks just because of the 4-4, and the 3-3 would be fitting for the next opponent, the Portland Trail Blazers from the 33rd state. The Warriors and the Timberwolves. This one's tricky. It's the 114th game. Minneapolis, Minnesota's 114. The Warriors lead 67-46. Their next loss in the series is 47. Minnesota equals 38, but it's got an S, so it's also 47. They could get the 47th loss in the series in Minnesota. Today leaves 53 days left in the year. If the Timberwolves won, they would be 5-3 on the day leaving 53 days left in the year. The narrative for the Warriors is if they win this game, they're an 11.5-point underdog, but that's exactly what their line was when they played the Blazers and they beat them. If the Warriors upset this game, they'd be 3-6, and they face the Thunder next, and Thunder's 36 in the most pure cipher. If the Warriors lost at the same time, they'd be 1-3 away. Golden State's 41, the 13th prime. So personally, I don't want to mess with that game. Timberwolves don't pay anything unless you take the spread, and to me, there's no clear sign if they're going to cover that spread. Again, today does have 31 date numerology, the 11th prime. That might make me think that they might win by 11. And again, there's 11 games in the NBA today. So, could be a big number today in the NBA 11. All right. If you guys can hear that, that's the clicks of my new keyboard. All right, let's see here. So, yeah, I don't trust the Warriors enough to pull out the upset. We got to call caller.
Yeah, I'm calling about the Warriors and Timberwolves game.
Okay.
It's the 58th game at the Timberwolves. It's the 58 date numerology, but the Warriors can pick up that 31st win at the Wolves on the 31 date numerology.
Is that including the postseason?
They didn't meet in the postseason at all.
Let me double check that real quick. NBA teams.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
I'm like, it's the 58th game, 58 date numerology, and it's the 31 date numerology, and they can pick up that 31st win. I'm like,
Oh, wow. These teams have never met in the postseason. You're right. It is the...
Yep.
Okay. So Golden State's the team that could get the 31st win.
On the 58 date numerology in the 58th meeting at the Wolves.
Yeah. Golden State's 58 too.
Good. Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, yeah, that's a good catch. So this could be an upset then. Mm-hmm.
All right, I just want to point out to you, buddy.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah, good catch.
Yep.
All right. I didn't realize they hadn't met in the postseason before. All right, let me update the notes on that one. 58th game in Minnesota. Warriors lead 30-27, 31 and 50. And 58. 58. Date numerology. And Golden State is 58. So, yeah, I think Golden State, man, maybe they do have a shot to upset here. They got all their young guys. They got a hungrier team now. They're working it out. The Steph Curry-less Warriors. Again, if the Warriors do win, they go into that Thunder game 3-6. So. Well, Warriors would be a nice parlay multiplier today. Or you could take them to cover. Again, the Wolves' narrative's to improve to 5-3 on the day, leaving 53 days left in the year. So, it's not like they're without a riddle. But yeah, I can see a lot of 11 in the NBA today. And again, 31 is the 11th prime. Let me check the geometry on Target Center one more time. Center 136, 16th triangular number. 53, the 16th prime. Well, it being the 58th game and the Warriors having the chance for the 31st win there, that is something. So, that is very interesting. All right. Yeah, if I was going to do that game, I probably would take the Warriors to cover. If you want to do a small parlay to get the big multiplier effect, you got to take the Warriors on the money line. Could play it both ways. All right, the Raptors and Pelicans game. 39th game in the series. The Raptors have won the last 4 at New Orleans. Raptors lead 24-14. Whoever loses this game whoever wins this game is either going to be 2-2 away or 2-2 at home. Remember, the Pelicans have that double connection to 79, which is the 22nd prime. If the Pelicans did lose, they'd be 1-7. Remember, Zion 17, NBA 17. And Toronto Raptors is 71, the reflection. Raptors are slight favorites on the road. The concern for the Raptors is if they lose, they're 5-3 on the day leaving 53 days left in the year, and they play Los Angeles next. Los Angeles is 53. And they don't necessarily have to fall to 5-3 to face Los Angeles, but that is a number that shows up around LA a lot. For example, the Miami Heat just improved to 6-2 before they play Los Angeles. Let me take this call real quick. Caller?
Hey, how you doing, Zach? This is Will from Philly. Are you doing any NCAA men's basketball today?
There's 2 games we're going to look at just because they're closer games, but I'm not crazy about either one, but we are going to go over it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome in. See you.
See you.
Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Hey, what's up?
Just wanted to point out one thing about that Warriors game. They can also go 2-2 on the 22 date, and in their away record. And Minneapolis, and then when you write it out, equals 64. The reflection 46, and the Warriors can stay on 46 losses.
That's true. That's true. I was skipping the 22 date numerology. Yeah, so they got a shot.
And, one more thing yesterday about that Miami game, they did pick up that 6. Also, I wanted to tell you, I forgot yesterday, but it was 6 years since LeBron had officially left the Miami Heat, so that was like another cosmetic reason why I had Miami picking up that 6.
Yeah, LeBron and 6. It is true. So yeah, that was a good call by you yesterday.
All right, Zach.
All right, take care, man. Good work. See you. Yeah, they love the 6 riddles with LeBron. Again, LeBron 66, Lakers 66, LeBron James 66. Yeah, Warriors, that's another good observation, though. They could go 2-2 away on the 22 date. Basketball's 22. Oakland's 22. They still sort of represent Oakland. Golden State. All right. So, yeah, this Raptors-Pelicans game, it's a little bit dangerous. It's a little bit dangerous because there is reason to believe the Raptors could fall to 5-3. And the Pelicans face the Hornets next. If they won this game and the next, they'd be 3-6, and Hornets is 36. So I'd probably skip that one tonight. Seems like the Raptors should be more of a favorite too, doesn't it? The line seems a little bit close. So. All right, the Knicks and Mavericks. We talked about the Knicks losing their last game, so they could potentially fall to 1-8 in Dallas because you have an overlap with 61. Mavericks is 61. New York Knicks is 61. 61 is the 18th prime number. The Knicks coach is on 18 wins with the Knicks right now. So I think that's the most likely thing to happen here. The Knicks coach falling to, or the Knicks falling to 1-8. But Dallas is a big favorite. Hold on, we got another caller here. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Sorry, calling again. I'm calling about that Raptors and Pelicans game. The Raptors are 13-6 at the Pelicans. Pelicans equals 137. It's Friday. Friday equals 63. Nick Nurse can stay on 63 wins.
Okay, that's true. That's true. So.
Yeah, when I see that, I'm like 13-6. I'm like Pelicans is 137. That's interesting.
Hold on, let me double check that real quick. New Orleans Pelicans, Toronto Raptors. All right.
Yep.
So Raptors lead 13-6. You're right. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. That's a good one. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, man.
All right. See you. Let's see. Make sure I'm not getting dyslexic with that. Oh. All right, hold up. Yeah, Pelicans 137. Yeah, so this could be another upset right here. Still a little bit dangerous because the Zion symbolism's there if the Pelicans lose. But yeah, it seems like the Raptors should be bigger favorites. I wish they were, because then I'd say, you'd have more of a cushion to take the Pelicans with the points. But yeah, again, Raptors can fall to 5-3 on the day, leaving 53 days left in the year. They can fall to 13-7 at the Pelicans, and Pelicans is 137. And they'd go into Los Angeles 5-3. So, and again, if the Pelicans do win their next two games, they are 3-6 versus the Hornets. Hornets 36. Caller?
Zach, do you see anything with the Raptors in a 6-3? Because I think they're going to lose today and they're going to beat the Lakers.
Well, Toronto's 36, the reflection.
That's all that we got.
For 63?
36.
Yeah. I don't know what other connection they have.
Maybe I'll look into the next game. Because you took a look at the line, the Raptors versus the Pelicans, it's so low. It's like 2 points.
Has it gone down? It was 3 when I looked at it. But
yeah, it's 2 out here in Vegas.
Yeah, the line's funny. It seems like the Raptors should be bigger favorites. So
yeah, at least by 5 or 6 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah, so there's a potential upset narrative there for the Pelicans. Indeed.
Got it.
All right, man.
Okay.
All right,
if I see anything in that 6-3, I'll call him.
All right, sounds good. See you.
Right.
Caller? Hello? Caller? All right, then call back. I didn't hear him. Okay, so we're talking about the Knicks and Mavericks game. My only concern with the Mavericks is, again, it's the day leaving 53 days left in the year. If the Mavericks lost, they'd fall to 5-3, and 53 is the 16th prime. They'd also get their 16th home loss against the Knicks. So I find it interesting how that lines up. I'd probably just leave this game alone, the Mavericks game, because they don't pay enough unless you take them to cover, and they do. But if you wanted to go for another parlay multiplier, you could throw the Knicks in there because they do have a shot because of this 53 and 16 riddle. But still, the overlap number is 61, the 18th prime. That was the initial thought. But yeah, the 53-16, it is there. The Knicks host the Cavs next. And hold on. Wait a minute. I did bad math on this. It's just Cavs is 27. Hold on. Let me fix this. Yeah, they play the Cavs next. They can't get to 3-6. All right. All right, that's fixed. All right, so the Knicks, if they did upset, it would connect to their next opponent, the Cavs. Cavs is 27, like they sometimes wear on their jerseys. So I might think about the Knicks as a parlay multiplier, but again, Mavs look like the lot better team, and the Knicks falling to 1-8 would not be a surprise. Okay, the Bucks and Jazz game. Bucks are a slight favorite. If the Jazz win this game, they'll win their 18th straight game against the Bucks, and Jazz equals 18. And if the Bucks lose and the Jazz win, both teams will be 6-3. Jazz equals 63. So both teams can be 6-3. The Jazz can get the 18th straight win at home versus Milwaukee. That looks like quite a Jazz riddle. And if Utah does win, they'll be 5-0 at home. Utah equals 50, just using the alphabetic order. So their home record would make some sense. The only threat I really see going against Jazz in terms of their record is Salt Lake City, UT, like they read it up here, as 179, the 41st prime. Like how the Bucks come in 4-1 away. If the Jazz lost, they'd be 4-1 at home. But I'll take the Utah 50 over that. And again, the 6-3 riddle on both sides. So I think the Jazz have a good chance to upset the Bucks. And I'd take those points in case the Jazz lose in a nail biter. But really, the only thing number-wise that goes against them is possibly being 4-1 at home. So, but Jazz got quite a streak against the Bucks, and one more to get to 18 would make sense. NBA equals 17 where it is right now. 18 is a Jazz number, so why not win 18 straight? The 76ers and Nuggets game. This is the 89th game between these teams. That's the 24th prime number. And if the Nuggets win, they'll get their 24th home win versus the 76ers. So I like that. 89 is also the 11th Fibonacci number to go in with the 11 theme today. So Nuggets can get the 24th win at home in the 89th game, prime number relationship. If the 76ers lost, they'd get their 39th loss. Pepsi Center equals 167, the 39th prime, so right building to get the 39th loss in the series. Denver Nuggets equals 62. Either team can become 6-2 in this game, but Denver Nuggets are the team that equals 62, so they can improve to 6-2. Also, Nuggets equals 33. If the 76ers lose, they're 3-3 away. And if the Nuggets win, they're 3-1 at home, and Denver equals 31. So I like the Nuggets here in this one. You got the prime number relationship. You got gematria connections. So got to roll with the Nuggets on that one. And I'll just do some bold here. So okay. The Nets and Trailblazers. 89th game as well in this one, and the Blazers are on 24 losses in the series, so the Blazers can stay on 24 losses in the 89th game. The Blazers are 37-7 at home versus the Nets. Portland's 37, Oregon's 38. In light of Portland being 37, the 12th prime, if the Blazers win, they'll be 1-2 at home, and the Nets would fall, or excuse me. Hold on, I got dyslexic with this too, didn't I? let me fix that. So technically, actually, either team can become 1-2 home or away. And Portland's 37, the 12th prime. Portland's also 44. So if the Nets won, they'd be 4-4. Portland 44, Portland 37, the 12th prime. So their record would actually become very Portland if the Nets upset in this game. However, the Nets played the Suns next. Suns is 35. If they lose this game, they're 3-5 going to face the Suns. Trailblazers is also 53, the Reflection. So it's a little bit dicey because you can make sense of the Nets getting to 4-4 and 1-2 away. So if you want to play it safe, I'd probably skip that game. It is nice, though, that it's the 89th game, the 24th prime, and the Blazers can stay on 24 losses in the series. And if they did get that 65th win and that 38th win at home, 65 and 38 are both 11 in numerology to go with that 11 theme today. So it's dangerous, though, just because, again, the Nets get to 4-4 and 1-2 away. Lakers and Heat and Lakers, I'm going to stick with the thought that I said a few days ago. If the Lakers beat the Spurs, they'd probably be on their way to 7-1 because they'd get to a 7-1 record before facing the Toronto Raptors 71. LeBron's had a lot of rituals with the Raptors over the years. Caller?
Hey, how you doing, Zach? I was just listening to you throw those numbers about the Sixers and the Nuggets. Ben Simmons is out officially, so that sounds like a good one.
Yeah, that too. Simmons is out, and the numbers look good for the Nuggets. So,
all right, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem, man. See you.
All right.
Okay, so the Heat and Lakers game. Okay, it's the 63rd game. Heat can fall to 6-3 in this game. In the 63rd game. The Lakers lead 35-27. They're 22-9 at home. So if the Lakers win this game, you'll have a prime number relationship. 23-9, like, well, again, 23 the ninth prime. And again, if the Lakers win, they're 7-1 going on to face the Toronto Raptors 71. And I was looking ahead, if the Lakers win this game, the Raptors game, and the game after that, which is Phoenix, they'd be 9-1. Phoenix is 91. So if the Lakers win their next three, 9-1 to start the season, 91's the 13th triangular number, LA's 13. King James became a king in real life at 13 months of age. LeBron won that championship on the real King James's birthday for the Cavs in his 13th season. The only thing I see for the Heat is that they can become 4-2 away because Lakers is 42. But at the same time, you know, LeBron's 33 and so is James. So they can fall to 3-3 facing LeBron. And also LeBron's 22-16 versus Miami. He can stay on those 16 losses. 53 days left in the year, the 16th prime. He'd get his 23rd win the same day the Lakers get their 23rd home win against the Heat. So I'm thinking the Lakers are probably going to win their next 3 games here. And as I say that, I see one thing that I overlooked. These NBA TV riddles have been hitting. NBA TV's 31. That's what could go against the Lakers. I'm going to have to fade it here. I still like the Lakers. So, yeah, I'm sticking with the Lakers going into the Raptors game 7-1, and yeah, I'd say the only concern there is the NBA TV thing because that has been coming through. All right, so that's that game. There's only 2 games in college basketball that are close today, and they're 2 schools that haven't played each other for over 50 years. Auburn and Davidson, Steph Curry's old school. The game's in Annapolis, Maryland. Annapolis is 101, the 26th prime, and 351's the 26th triangular number. If the Davidson coach lost, he would get his 351st loss. And the Auburn coach, he's on 101 wins and 72 losses. That's interesting because Annapolis is 101 and Annapolis, Maryland, 72. So, yeah, I don't know what to do with that. And I didn't really see anything with the building they're playing in or the Veterans Classic. Veterans Classic is 53, like the day leaves 53 days left in the year, but still it wasn't helping me out with these teams head-to-head. The schools just don't have enough history, and the coaches' records aren't real clear. Auburn's a slight favorite. So, and then Washington-Baylor's the only other game today that's close in terms of the spread. And Baylor Bears does equal 118, like today's 11/8. The name of the arena is 136. The over-under's at 136.5. Baylor's 0-2 versus Washington. Both of those games were played at Washington and Seattle. And those games were in 1955. And again, the Auburn and Davidson, they haven't played each other since 1951. The Washington coach, his next win is 49 with Washington. Washington's 49. Baylor doesn't have a 49 connection. Anchorage, Alaska doesn't have a 49 connection. Alaska Airlines Center doesn't have a 49 connection. All I can say about Alaska Airlines Center is that's the biggest airline in Seattle. If you ever go to the Seattle airport, half the thing is Alaska Airlines. But I don't know if that's going to carry over for their basketball team. The Washington coach, he could get his 53rd all-time win today on the day leaving 53 days left in the year, but he could also get his 28th all-time loss in Baylor's 28. So, does the date play harder or the opponent? Tough call. The Baylor coach's name is Scott Drew, which equals 53, which is interesting. And then the Baylor coach, I didn't really see anything with him with the opponent or the tournament, so not good enough clues there to make a stab at it, in my opinion. So, just to review, so far what we did for basketball, to me the Magic look better at home. It's through the home and away records. They make sense on both sides with the Magic win. Plus, if the Grizzlies lose, they have a fitting record for their next opponent, the Mavericks. Also, the Magic coach has a good riddle today. Cavs and Wizards, I'm staying away from it. Pistons and Pacers. Pacers are 0-2 against the Pistons, but I think they're going to right the ship and get a win today. I think the Pacers have the better riddle because of the home and away records as well. Makes sense on both sides if the Pacers win. Also, the coaches make a little bit more sense with the Pacers win today as well. The Kings and the Hawks. Game's a little bit dangerous, but I like the Hawks to get to 4-4 because it connects to their own team name plus who they host next, which is Portland. Portland's 44. They'll play Portland in their next game. So I'm leaning Hawks in that one. Warriors and Timberwolves, this could be an upset right here. Warriors, they can improve to 2-2 away on the 22-date numerology. They'd be 3-6 with the win. They play the Thunder next, 36. They could get their 31st win at Minnesota on the 31-date numerology. It's also the 58th game in Minnesota. Today has 58-date numerology as well. Golden State's 58. Warriors is even 58 if you use the rule with S, actually. So both parts of their name have the 58 connection. The thing that could go against the Warriors is falling to 1-3 away because Golden State's 41 the 13th prime. And the thing that could go in favor of the T-Wolves is them improving to 5-3 on the day, leaving 53 days left in the year. So the right call on this game might be to take the Warriors to cover that big spread. But again, if you're trying to do a small parlay and get the big multiplier effect, you got to take the Warriors on the money line. So, and again, you might want to play it both ways because there's definitely an upset for there's a narrative for an upset there. Raptors and Pelicans, there's also an upset narrative here. The Raptors, the spread doesn't look right. The line seems like they should be a bigger favorite. If the Raptors lose, they're 13-7 at the Pelicans. Pelicans is 137. And if the Raptors did lose, they'd fall to 5-3 on the day leaving 53 days left in the year. And then they play Los Angeles next to equals 53. So potential upset there at the Pelicans. Caller?
Zach, someone mentioned the Warriors were wearing their San Francisco jerseys.
San Francisco?
Yeah, SF27.
SF?
27, right?
Oh, it should be 25 with the alphabetic order. It's not 27. It's 25 and 29. It's also 11.
And how about San Francisco? Is that not 27?
Well, no, I know it doesn't have any 27.
Okay. Forget the thought then, because I noticed that they were 30 and 27 at Minnesota. So I was thinking they'll stay on 27 perfect in their jerseys and then pick up the 31st victory. When they beat Portland, they had their San Francisco jerseys on.
Okay. Huh. I wonder if there's something about Minneapolis and Portland. When Minneapolis wore their Prince jerseys for the first time, they played Portland.
That's right, yeah. And there was the same line, 11.5.
Yeah. So I think Warriors got a shot. There's no 27, though, with SF, which is good because the 27 would go against them.
Well, their record in Minnesota is 30 and 27, no?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about them falling. Yeah, they're on 27 losses in Minnesota.
That's why I was like, oh, maybe. Okay. All right, my bad. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, no problem. See you. Okay. If they're wearing their San Francisco jerseys, though, I can say something about that. San Francisco, if you use the rule with S, is 68. And they could get the 68th win in the series all time. If the Warriors won, they'd get the 68th win. All right, so they got a chance at an upset there. And, again, Pelicans have a shot at an upset. I do worry about them falling to 1-7 though, just because they got Zion 17, NBA 17, and then Knicks and Mavericks. Again, Mavericks probably win this one, but Knicks got a little riddle too. Again, it's the 53. If it plays real hard today, it would go against the Mavericks. They would fall to 5-3, and again, 53 is the 16th prime. They'd get their 16th home loss versus the Knicks. So. Could be a day of upsets. Bucks and Jazz. I do think the Jazz, who are slight underdogs, will win this game to get both teams to 6-3 because Jazz is 63. Jazz is also 18. They'd get their 18th straight win at home against the Bucks. And they'd become 5-0 at home. Utah's 50. And maybe the strongest riddle of the day is right here with the 76ers and Nuggets. I mean, 76ers are a good team, so that's just the one concern. But again, if the 76ers lose, they're 3-3 away. Nuggets is 33. Denver wins, they're 3-1 at home. Denver's 31. They'd also be 6-2 on the season. Denver Nuggets is 62. Plus, it's the 89th game, which is the 24th prime, and the Nuggets can get the 24th home win against the 76ers. 76ers can get the 39th all-time loss in the series. Pepsi Center is 167, the 39th prime. So there's just a lot of things that line up in this game, more than any other game today. You got the most to work with there. And the Nets and Blazers, this one's dangerous, man. Because Portland's 44-37. If the Nets won, they'd be 4-4 and 1-2 away, like 37 the 12th prime. But what the Blazers have going is it's the 89th game, the 24th prime, and they could stay on 24 losses versus the Nets. If the Nets lose, they're 3-5, going on to face the Suns 35. So a little dangerous. And I'm going to stick with the thought about the Lakers getting to 7-1 to play the Toronto Raptors. And again, Raptors could keep rolling if they win their next. If the Lakers win their next 3 games, they'll be 9-1 against Phoenix. Phoenix 91, and we know that number plays with Phoenix. So only threat in that game is Heat improving to 4-2 away because Lakers is 42. But I see one other thing that I should have mentioned in here. I see one more thing that goes in the Lakers' favor. 71, the 20th prime, Heat equals 20. So it's a good team to become 7-1 against as well, because it also connects to the Heat. And all right, so all right. Just scanning. Yeah, there's some potential upsets today, and it looks like there's about all right. I imagine we'll go at least 4-1 with this group. Magic beating the Grizzlies, Pacers beating the Pistons, Jazz getting the Bucks, Nuggets getting the 76ers, and Lakers getting the Heat. And then if you want to mess with those potential upsets, that's where you get your big parlay multiplier effects. So, all right, so that's basketball and hockey. All right, we got some hockey games today too. Here, let's see what happened in this Lightning and Sabres game. The Lightning barely won 3-2. Okay, so yeah, I thought this game was tight because if the Lightning were going to win, they were going to improve to 7 wins and 5 losses in Stockholm, Sweden, where the game was, which equals 75. And Buffalo, they did have a chance at getting the 22nd points versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's 79, the 22nd prime, plus you had the 22 date numerology. But in light of this being a special game, like the last special game we had was the, the Tim Hortons Classic, and Classic equals 66. And I forget who it was, Calgary and somebody, but we saw that if the one team won, they'd be 6-6. So we went with that, and that's why I wasn't sure if it was going to be more about points or the name in this one. And I think it was more about the name and location, Stockholm, Sweden. So Lightning got to 7-5 in that game. The Bruins and the Red Wings. Bruins are huge favorites on the road at Detroit. If the Bruins did win, they'd get their 12th win. Of course, Detroit equals 37, the 12th prime. If the Bruins won today, they'd be 5-3 away for the season on the day leaving 53 days left in the year. However, if they lost, they'd be 4-4 away. Combined wins and losses here, 4-4. Detroit's 44. Right now, they're 4-3. Bruins is 43. I'm doing my best for my Massachusetts person to say Bruins. Detroit at home is 2-6 on the year. If they lost, they would be 2-7. They host Vegas next. Vegas is 27. And the Red Wings play Vegas and then the Ducks. Right now, they're on 9 points for the season. If they won 2 out of their next 3 games, they could potentially get 13 points versus the Ducks. And Boston faces Philadelphia next. If they win this game, Boston, they'll go in with 26 points. Philadelphia's 101, the 26 prime. If Boston gets upset in this game, they'll likely get those 26 points against Philadelphia. So personally, I wouldn't mess with this. There's not a good enough riddle to believe the Red Wings would upset. But again, these crazy lines like this, there's so many upsets in hockey. I mean, there's almost an upset like this every day with a line. It just happened yesterday with Carolina and the Rangers. So Red Wings have a chance to win here, but it's not real clear. I think if there is a clear game in hockey today, it's this one. That we don't have a strong points riddle. This is what's missing in this game. Vancouver's on 21 points. If they lost in overtime, they'd have 22 points. Winnipeg's on 17 points. If they lost in overtime, they'd have 18 points. Canucks is 18. You have 19 date numerology, 11-8, 11 plus 8, 19. If Winnipeg won, they'd get to 19 points. I guess you could also make an argument for them to, I should say this, 19, 8th prime. Winnipeg could become 8-1. This is the 31st game between these teams, the 11th prime. Winnipeg's on 11 regulation losses, but they could still possibly lose in overtime. Caller?
Hey, Zach, just one more quick note about that next game. Dallas Mavericks, when you write it out, equals 51. They could be 1-5 in their away record.
Dallas Mavericks equals 51, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the reflection, 1-5. Okay.
Yeah. That was it.
All right.
Oh, and also, sorry about the Lakers. I agree with you as well. Them winning this game. There's a little bit symbolic behind it. LeBron would have won 7 out of his first 8 games. When you write NBA Finals, it equals 78.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be 4-0 at home, so he would have won 4 out of his first 4 home games. 3-peat equals 44 as well. So.
Okay, yeah, good observation.
All right.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thanks. Texas also equals 15 if the Knicks won and became 1-5 away in Texas. Okay, but if Winnipeg wins this game, they're 4-4-1 at home. Vancouver Canucks is 193, the 44th prime, and I think Canucks is also 45. Yeah, Canucks is 45. So if Winnipeg won, they'd have 4 wins and 5 combined losses. So they could get to 4-5 as well, Winnipeg, with a win at home. And then Winnipeg's also 97. If Winnipeg wins, they're 9-7-1. Winnipeg 97. And if the Canucks lose, they're 9-5-3. And Vancouver Canucks is 95. So both teams can have a fitting record if the Jets win, the Winnipeg Jets. So I'm leaning that way in that game. Winnipeg did burn me the last time on the 97, but I'm thinking they're not going to burn me twice. And then the Devils and Oilers. Oilers pretty good favorites at home. The Devils are a tricky team. New Jersey has 12 points right now. They could stay there in Edmonton. Edmonton's 37, the 12th prime. They could stay parked on those 12 points. We talked about the possibility of the Devils losing 3 straight road games. They lost 1 yesterday. If they lose the next 2 away games, they'll be 2-6 away, and Devils is 26 in the most pure cipher. It does have an S, though, so it's also 35 if they split the next 2. And my concern with the Oilers is they play at the Anaheim Ducks next, which equals 109. If the Oilers lost this game, they'd be 10-8 for the season, and then they could fall to 10-9 versus the Ducks. Rogers Place equals 56. If the Devils won, they'd be 5-6-4. If the Devils lost, they'd be 4-7-4. New Jersey equals 47, and Edmonton Oilers equals 74. So it's just a little bit too back and forth. It probably is most likely that New Jersey stays on the 12 points in Edmonton, 37, the 12th prime. It's very possible that they do end up losing these 3 road games because the Devils also played yesterday. I don't believe the Oilers played yesterday. I know the Devils did. Devils lost to the Flames yesterday. And let me double check on the Oilers. Yeah, so the Oilers got to rest yesterday. The Devils played a game. Yeah, it's just there's not a strong points riddle for the Oilers. My concern about them is staying on 22 points on the 22 date. But so far, teams playing back-to-back this year have definitely lost a lot more than they've won in the second of the back-to-back games. All right, so if you don't want to play any hockey games today, I don't blame you. Again, there's some days where we just get a lot of awesome hockey riddles, and that's where we do really well. There's only 4 games today, and the one that has the strongest narrative, in my opinion, is this Canucks-Jets game, just because the records can make sense for both teams. Biggest thing going against the Devils is that they played yesterday, and yeah, the Bruins just don't pay anything. I mean, I won't be surprised if they get their 12th win in Detroit. So, again, it's good to be patient and just take the best riddles out there. And then this college football game today, Washington, Oregon State. So, here's what stands out about this one. Oregon State could get their 58th loss today in the series on the 58 date numerology. Oregon State, hold on, what is it? The Washington coach could get his 53rd win today on the day leaving 53 days left in the year. However, his all-time record's 144-37, and what's interesting about that is Oregon's 38 could get his 38th all-time loss, and Corvallis, OR's 144. He could stay on 144 all-time wins. And Beavers equals 45. If Oregon State Beavers lose, they'll be 4-5. They'd be 3-3 in the Pac-12 as well. Oregon's the 33rd state. Washington, however, is the 42nd state. If Washington wins, they'd be 3-4 in the Pac-12, and Oregon State equals 139, the 34th prime. So Washington's the favorite on the road. The biggest concern, though, going against Washington is their coach's all-time record, including his games beyond just his years with Washington. You look at his Washington record alone, it looks good. Getting that 53rd win on the day leaving 53 days. And again, Oregon State picking up the 58th loss on the 58-date numerology. But again, the all-time record, that could be the upset right there. So Corvallis, OR is also 54. If the Beavers won, they would be 5-4. So that's just one other thing to think about. And let me just write this too. Oregon, 33rd state, could fall to 3-3 in Pac-12. I guess I should write Oregon State could fall. And Washington is the 42nd state. So there'll be a ton more games tomorrow, too, if you just want to skip this one. Washington's not a great payout unless they cover. And in light of, if they are to cover, I wouldn't be surprised if they won by 11. Again, this 31-date numerology, the 11th prime. So, all right, just to take it from the top, one quick review here, and then we can wrap it up, and I'll get back to decoding the rest of the college games for tomorrow. Just go through it all one more time. Okay, so NHL, again, there's only 4 games. One's already complete. The Lightning edged out the Sabres to become 7-5-2 in Stockholm, Sweden, 75. Bruins, Red Wings. Big favorites, Bruins. Personally, I wouldn't mess with the game. Not worth the risk. They don't pay anything, and the Red Wings they have a chance to upset, but they don't have the strongest riddle in the world. It's not points-based. Canucks and Jets, you don't have a good points riddle in this game, but you do have record riddles that would make sense. If Winnipeg got the win, they'd be 9-7-1. Winnipeg's 97. If Vancouver lost in regulation, they'd be 9-5-3. Vancouver Canucks is 95. So that's what stands out the most in hockey today. Only 4 games to choose from. And if Winnipeg does win, their home record makes a lot of sense too. So that's the other thing Winnipeg has going is their home record. The Devils and Oilers game, it's probably most likely, again, that the Devils stay on the 12 points that they have because Edmonton's 37, the 12th prime, but there's a chance Edmonton could stay on 22 points on the 22-date numerology. Also, I forgot to say this a moment ago, but this is the 84th game. Oilers equals 84 and New Jersey Devils equals 84. If the Devils won, they would get their 84th points in the 84th game. So that's your upset narrative with the Devils. And again, if the Devils do upset, the Oilers will likely lose their next game to the Anaheim Ducks as well. So, and they'd go into the Ducks game on 22 points, and Ducks equals 22. So, chance the Devils could upset. They're a very interesting team, the Devils. All right. So, that's hockey. NBA, Grizzlies and Magic one more time. If the Magic win, both teams' home and away records make sense. So I like the Magic here. Again, the Magic coach has a good riddle to win. And the the Grizzlies, if they lose, they're 2-6. They face the Mavericks next. Mavericks is 101, the 26th prime. So like the Magic there. Cavs and Wizards to me is too close to call. Pistons and Pacers. Pacers are 0-2 against the Pistons this year. I think they're going to become 1-2, like 12. Detroit's 37, the 12th prime. Pacers is 37, the 12th prime. If the Pacers win, they're 4-1 at home. Pistons is 41. Caller?
Okay, I remember why my last point I'm calling when I first called. The Islanders' record, they're 11-3-1. Looks like a 1-3-1, like championship.
Okay.
I think they're the only team in the NHL that has landed on that record or can even land on that record.
Okay.
And that ties into why I think they're going to play the Oilers this year in the Cup. The Oilers hired their coach from Arizona. and he finished his career with Arizona on 131 losses going into Edmonton. And the Oilers and New York shared a 39 connection.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, yeah, good observations.
And that ties into Game 3 of the year when the Oilers played the Islanders this year. The Oilers won 5-2. They played in 84. And the Oilers beat them last game, Game 5, 5-2.
Okay, interesting. All right. Appreciate it. All right, so. And speaking of futures real quick, that Popeye's chicken shooting in Maryland, if you want to run, take the victim's name and paste it in the gematria calculator and then type in New Orleans Saints, and you'll notice it's the exact same in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. And it reminds me that all last year we were talking about the War of 1812 and the Battle of New Orleans. We were talking about that last year before the NFL season even began, in light of the ongoing themes with the flag and the national anthem, because the national anthem came out of the War of 1812. And then the first score of the game ended up being 18-12 last year. So I was thinking about that. I was like, New Orleans and Baltimore. New Orleans and Baltimore. Popeye's Chicken is from Louisiana, and you had the shooting in Maryland that might be a riddle for the Super Bowl. So I'm starting to think that's a possible narrative there this year, because we've been on that War of 1812 thing, and sometimes those riddles take more than a year to get to the championship, like the Steve Scalise shooting led to the World Series 2 years after the fact. So anyway, Pacers Pistons. Again, I'm going to take the Pacers here tonight to get to 4-1 at home, because Pistons is 41. Pistons fall to 1-4 away, like 14. They face the Miami Heat away next. Miami Heat's 43, the 14th prime. And the coach riddles make sense tonight if the Pacers win. Caller?
I did some more research, and the Packers coach was the first coach to defeat the Bears since 1959 when Vince Lombardi did it. It was something I think in Chicago, or there was some article about it. And maybe go look up 1959 who won the championship that year. And the Baltimore Colts beat the New York Giants. And my question to you is, the Baltimore Colts from 1959, when they left, did they become the Indianapolis Colts?
In 1984.
In 1984. So that is that connection then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Green Bay, okay, got it. And also, if you notice, the preseason game, the first preseason game, Houston played Green Bay. The score was 28-26, totaling 54 points.
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
Also, week 1, the only game in the NFL until game 2 was the Chargers and the Colts. It ended 30-24, 54 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's only one more, Seattle-Pittsburgh, 28-26, just like the first game in preseason with the Texans and Green Bay.
Okay.
So what I'm getting at is, I'm thinking that Seattle, I mean, depending on the narrative, but it could somehow. There was an interesting article that led to 1959, and only 3 games, 2 in the regular season, 1 in preseason, are totaling 54 points.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man.
All
right. See it. Okay. All right. So back to the review. Kings and Hawks game. Again, I think the Hawks have the better riddle here because they can improve to 4-4. Atlanta Hawks is 193, the 44th prime. Georgia's 44. Portland's 44. The Hawks play Portland next. So they can go into Portland with a 4-4 record. And the one concern is Luke Walton, Sacramento's coach. He could get his 101st win. Hawks does have the 26th connection. 101's the 26th prime. But if the Kings lose, they're 1-4 away, and they play LA next. LA's 14. They play at LA for their next away game, is what I mean. So their next away record, 14. It would make some sense. Okay, Warriors and Timberwolves.
Hey,
Hey, Zach, I didn't know you was on. My thing to let me know you was on, man.
All right. Well, I'm doing the review right now, so been on for.
No, okay. Do one thing for you. You know, LSU play Alabama tomorrow, college football. They said the last time they won 2011, correct?
I got
LSU. I think I don't know, I'm mistaken. I think it's 2011. The last time they beat Alabama, I think 2011.
Okay, I'm about to finish this and do all my college football research. I don't know right now, so.
Okay, we get a chance to look it up, see it's true or not. So it means that 2011, 19, that's 8 years, right? So you say 8 is a key number, right?
Yeah, 19, the 8th prime.
So you check it out. We get a chance. I just let you know.
Okay.
No problem, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. The review's getting all screwed up here because of the calls. I'm just gonna start over with the review because I don't want you guys to call in when I'm doing review. I'm just trying to do like a quick 5-minute review for people who know to skip to the end of the show to get the review games. I don't want people to call in and talk about football futures and all this. Okay, hockey real quick. Bruins and Red Wings, I wouldn't mess with it. Canucks and Jets. Again, you don't have a good points riddle here, but if the Jets win, they're 9-7-1. Winnipeg is 97. If the Canucks lose in regulation, they're 9-5-3. Vancouver Canucks is 95. Devils and Oilers, probably wouldn't mess with this game either. You got riddles going both ways. NBA, I like the Magic at home. Both teams' home and away record makes sense with a Magic win. Cavs and Wizards, I'm not messing with it. Pistons and Pacers, if the Pacers win at home, they're 4-1 at home. Pistons is 41. And both coaches' records make sense so long as the Pacers win. So taking the Pacers there. Kings and Hawks, if the Hawks win, again, they're 4-4. Connects to their team name and connects to Portland, who they play next. Portland's 44. Warriors and Timberwolves. Warriors do have a shot at an upset here. They're an 11.5-point underdog, but if they win, they're going to get their 31st win in Minnesota on 31-date numerology. They'd improve to 3-6. They play the Thunder next. Thunder's 36. If Golden State wins, they're 2-2 away on a 22-date numerology. If they lose, however, they're 1-3. Golden State's 41, the 13th prime. Also, if the T-Wolves win, they're 5-3 on the day, leaving 53 days left in the year. So the line is 11.5. I have a feeling 11 is going to play hard in the NBA today. There's 11 games. There's 31-date numerology, the 11th prime. So if you're just trying to play it safe and you do want to take the Warriors, I would take them with those points. If you're trying to get a big parlay multiplier, you can take them on the money line. The Raptors and the Pelicans game, another potential upset. If the Raptors lose, they're 5-3 on the day, leaving 53 days left in the year. If they lose, they're 13-7 at the Pelicans. Pelicans is 137. If the Pelicans lose, they're 1-7. NBA 17, Zion 17. If they lose and become 1-7, that's the reflection of 71. Toronto Raptors is 71. If Pelicans do get upset, though, there's plenty of riddle there for the upset. They'd be 5-3, and they face Los Angeles next. Los Angeles is 53. The Knicks and Mavericks game, the Mavericks' risk is they could fall to 5-3 on the day, leaving 53 days left in the year. 53 is the 16th prime. If they lost, they'd also get their 16th loss at home to the Knicks. The Knicks, if they lose, they're 1-8. Mavericks is 61. New York Knicks is 61. 61 is the 18th prime. David Fizdale, the Knicks coach, would stay on 18 wins. So there is a potential upset narrative there. You got another big underdog, 11.5. Maybe teams lose by 11 today. But Knicks could be another big parlay multiplier. They got a shot. I think the Jazz get it done against the Bucks. They're slight underdogs at home. Jazz equals 63. Both teams would be 6-3 with the Jazz win. Utah would be 5-0 at home. Utah's 50. And if the Bucks lost, they'd lose their 18th straight game in Utah. Jazz equals 18. 76ers and Nuggets. This game's got the most complete riddle of the day. It's the 89th game between these teams, which is the 24th prime. The Nuggets can get their 24th win at home versus the 76ers. Also, Pepsi Center equals 167, the 39th prime. 76ers could get their 39th all-time loss against the Nuggets. Nuggets equals 33. If the 76ers lose, they're 3-3 away. And if the Nuggets win, they're 3-1 at home. Denver's 31. Denver Nuggets is also 62. Whoever wins improves to 6-2, but because the riddles go more with the Nuggets, I think they're the team that will likely be 6-2. Nets and Trailblazers, a little bit dangerous. The Nets have a chance at an upset. If they win, they're 4-4. Portland's 44. They'd also be 1-2 away. Portland's 37, the 12th prime. But Portland can become 1-2 at home as well. Portland 37, the 12th prime. And if the Nets lost, they'd be 3-5. Trailblazers is 53, the reflection. The Nets play the Suns next. Suns is 35. So, little dangerous. And I do like the Lakers to beat the Heat to improve to 7-1. 71's the 20th prime. Heat's 20. If the Lakers win, they're 23-9 at home. 23 the 9th prime number. And Lakers might very well win this game, the next game against the Raptors, and then the game after that against Phoenix to get to 9-1. Phoenix is 91. If Lakers win today, they're 7-1 facing the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors 71. And only riddle there for the Heat is to improve to 4-2 away because Lakers is 42. If LeBron wins today, he stays on 16 losses versus Miami. Again, today leaves 53 days left in the year, the 16th prime. To me, the biggest scare for the Lakers is that NBA TV equals 31, and the Lakers could fall to 3-1 at home. We have seen those NBA TV riddles hitting, but I got to fade it here. I think the Lakers are going to win their next 3 games and get to 9-1. And then the college basketball games that are close today, I don't see a clear riddle in either one, so I'd stick with the strongest riddles today. And if you want to go for a parlay multiplier on some of these long shots, can make a low wager bet with some of the stronger reads with those factored in. But we can leave it there. A little more than a half hour till the first game start. And I got to get to work on college football so I can get that out at a reasonable time. And I see somebody is really spamming away in the chat. All right, so all right, we'll leave it there, you guys. Be back tomorrow for the NFL Decode. I'll get the notes out for the other sports in the morning. One last call. What's up, Victor?
Hey, Zach. Just wanted to get this in before you got off about the Knicks. So Knicks coach is on 18 wins, but today is a 19-day numerology as well, so he can't pick up 19.
Yeah, 11 plus 8, 19. Yeah, it's true.
Yep, that's all.
All
Thank
right.
you for today, Zach. Have a good day, okay?
All right, welcome, man. Take care. See you. All right, you guys, we'll leave it there. Be back tomorrow. Again, tomorrow morning, I'll get out the notes for basketball, hockey. I'll get out the college football notes tonight, and then tomorrow afternoon we'll do the NFL live stream. So until next time, good luck.